Hey guys, how's it going? We're live. I know it's a little bit late, but I have to get this video done or else I'm never gonna do it. So a while back, a member of this community, Joanna, she sent me her demo reel. She's working on it and trying to get it to a professional level to get a job. And I went in, I gave some revisions, and I'm kind of making this video for you guys and for her to watch to kind of go through those revisions, how I would tackle this shot. So it's a nice long shot. I'm only going to probably cover the first little bit because you can apply that to the rest of the shot. Um, so the context is she's talking to her friend. She's asking if there's something going on that she should know about. So we're going to get right into it. I've already made a few corrections. So if we take a look, let's get rid of these notes. This is kind of Joanna's initial pose. Okay, and pretty good. But let's see what we can do to kind of plus it up. We want to remember it's our demo reel shot. We want to make this the best we can be. It can be. So first thing I kind of noticed is we want to try and follow the forms a little bit better. It's looking a little flat, a little like a cutout rig, and we're not really defining, the curves of the legs or the curves of the calf over there. The arms, we could have some nice negative space. Make the head touch the hand a little bit better. So let's go in and kind of, just adjust to these drawovers. Now, I'm not really familiar with this rig too much, so we may have to, we may struggle a bit there, but it should be okay. We're posing, we want to get really strong poses, and then we can focus a lot on the acting. Our poses are going to help sell the acting, and a nice strong pose goes a long way, especially in your demo reel. So this is not a deformer. What I might do, let's see. Oh, okay. I think this rig is by Q Bum Lee. It's an older rig as well, but I think it is free, which is a good thing. So pieces that don't have deformers as well, I'm going to go in and kind of just go here. Like, don't be afraid to modify the rig is what I'm saying to you. So like there's no deformer on the neck. I'll go on the neck, create a 4-point deformer. So we go up here, animation, envelope creator, 4 points, press create envelope. And now you might have to adjust it. So let's go here, display. Let's just see what we're working with there. Okay, so if you need to adjust it, just select your deformer, select this hammer and wrench tool. And just kind of move this into place. Okay, perfect. Get rid of that. Now we can kind of adjust this neck how we want. So little pieces like that, if you can't get the rig to work for you, don't be afraid to modify it. Same with this piece. No deformer. Let's add a 4-point deformer and see what happens. Okay, now we can kind of adjust this how we want around the neck. And we're getting a stronger pose already. Okay. These shoulder patches don't have deformers. I want to add a few of them. Usually 4 points will do the trick. And now we can get those shoulders down where we want them. I personally like to work with deformers. That's just what I'm used to. But you could also go in and redraw these pieces if you like that. Okay, let's really define this arm like that. She's really relaxed. That's what we want. We want nice smooth curves as well. Right, these joints, really smooth. And we want, I guess we can't really do any overlapping lines with this rig, but we could try. Let's see. The overlay cutter. I think if you go on the line art and copy this onto the overlay, yeah, see, it should show through. So now we can get a little bit of an overlap with that. Let's see. Right, we can kind of bring this in. Let's bring this arm down. So that's our other shoulder. Let's create another deformer on it and bring it down. Right, so here's our, like what we had before. Already it's looking a little more correct, right? A little more, the anatomy is looking better, the pose is looking better. For these sleeves, same thing. I'll go here, and I'm just going to go to the sleeve. I'll add another deformer. We'll just do 4 points, and now that way I can adjust this more. Right, so I don't know if you're watching, Joanna, but you can, this will be available to replay after. Right, same thing with this sleeve. I'm just going to go in, deformers. Usually, lots of rigs will already have deformers on all these pieces, but I think this is kind of an older rig, so yeah. Plus, it was free, so you can't really be too picky, right? You got to just work with what you got. Let's bring this down. Right, we're even in this tiny like part of the arm, we're still defining those curves. Right, this arm goes down. The glove, we don't have to add a deformer on it just yet, I don't think. It should be fine. Like this. Right, we really want to get those nice curves. We can kind of keep this hand, but let's bring this hand behind. Right, so now it looks like we're resting. Okay, let's go to this part. We may have to redraw the belt, but let's see if we can give it a deformer. This one I'll draw manually. I just want to go 1, 2, oops. Let's choose envelope. Right, so you choose your tool, choose envelope. Make sure you're on the drawing layer. And now we just kind of mark these points. So yeah, there was a lot less deformers than I thought. There's quite a bit of modifications you have to do to this rig. But you could also just redraw these pieces if you want. So you just redraw the belt, you redraw the arms, you redraw the sleeves. But I find the easiest way is going to be to use these deformers and just kind of move the pieces into place, especially when we start to animate this. Right, so see how this is kind of showing through? What we can do, let's go on the belt, go into the drawing layer, on the underlay, if you want to, let's show everything at once. Let's just kind of move this belt a little bit wider to cover that, right? So it gets deformed a little bit better. The crotch area there. The legs will go down here. We'll follow the draw over. Right, I'm really thinking about like the curves. I want it to be very curvy because they're usually nicer to look at than just everything is being straight, you know? Then you could do straights and curves, offset them to make it more interesting. Okay. Right, and if this is like a demo reel, you should be spending quite a bit of time on these poses, right? You have nothing else to do, really. Make them perfect. Okay, so this little crotch thing, we want the leg to actually be in front. And then we want this bottom leg to be in front. So we move it in Z depth. So you can select a piece, you press the Alt key on your keyboard, and you press the arrow keys up and down to send things back. So I hold Alt, I press the arrow key back, send it backwards. Press the arrow key down, I bring it forwards. Okay, same thing with these drawing substitutions. Yeah, no. There are drawing swaps, but I'm going to do the deformer method. We're going to keep that going. Right? 4 pieces, pretty simple. And then when we tween between these, it's going to be a lot smoother. Right? Let's do the same thing on this side. 4 pieces. Pretty simple stuff. And now we're trying to get that deformation here. So I'm hoping if we go to render view, right, see how the pants don't break? Right? So that's good. All right, these socks. I mean, these socks we could probably leave like this, right? That kind of defines the shape a little bit better. And now let's just take a look what we have. Right? So everything's kind of flat. This is kind of what we had before. And now it's looking a little bit better. So now what we can do, you can go in, another draw over, take whatever color you want, we can do 2, and I just really want to go in, even 1, and make sure these curves are perfect. So I'm going to go in with my line tool and create like an extra guide for myself. And now I clean up everything that I kind of missed. So that, I know I need to clean up, see, this line. I want to make sure the knee is perfectly, curved. What the fuck? Just, oh, it's just not showing through. Right, same with these. I'm just going in, seeing lines that I think I can make straighter or, better. This is kind of a straight thing that I don't really like. So we can kind of give it a little bit of a curve, right? Just like that. The shoulders, I want it to be like one continuous curve. Same with the arm. Right, now let's do the face as well. Right, so Joanna, like this, just take some time again to go through your poses and really like make them a little bit stronger. For the eyebrows, what I like to do, I like to make sure they're all in one line. So I'll draw one line and kind of, define that eyebrow shape with just one line, one stroke. I guess she could be kind of bored here, right? So we can have the eyebrows even up a little bit. It's probably, oh, there is a deformer on the head. Has anyone used this rig before? And if so, let me know what you guys thought about it. I didn't build it. It was made by, I'm pretty sure his name's Lee. And I feel it's a pretty famous rig. It's been around. Right, because the goal of this cutout animation is we don't want it to look cut out. We want it to look hand-drawn. And, the best way to do it is to kind of go in and do a nice hand-drawn draw over. And then use deformers to kind of get the shapes that you want. Okay, for the sake of time though, this will be our last draw over. Because then we'll move on to the next pose. And I'll show you guys like a time-saving tip. Oops. Right, we get this elbow nice and right. And that's already looking better. Let's go in and do the legs. So something's happening here. I want to say Yeah. Here, let's kind of, well, this has to go down here. Just trying to figure out the best way to deal with this rig. This seems to be cutting the, oops. Let's get this knee in, right? So that nice smooth curve. I mean, it doesn't matter if it doesn't really follow my draw over. And there we go, the belt. We have to adjust the whole position a little bit. But I kind of like that. How it's a little offset. Oh, and last thing, the shoulders. Right, the shoulders are really, really important. We always want those to be smooth. Maybe. How's it going? ¿Qué tal? I've never used that rig, but I've seen it in videos on YouTube. Yeah, same. I've never used it either. Um, but I guess Joanna has used it. So this is Joanna's file. It's another member of our community, and this is her demo reel. How's it going, Robert? Long time no see. What are you up to? I know this is a little late one, but if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna have time to give some corrections on this, or at least my, opinion. Okay, so right there we go. Olive, she used to look like this, right? A little more grounded. The anatomy looks a little bit better just by those small changes that we made. Okay, so these poses, our next keyframe is here. So I'm going to delete actually everything in the middle and come right to this key pose. Right, and we're kind of just going to do the same thing for now, because these will be the key poses, and then I'll go in and do the animation for these poses. Any chance I see my character represented by you? Yeah, and at this point, it's looking pretty slim, but I still want to try and do it. If you can make me a good rig, remember I made a rig and it was pretty bad. So if you can make me a good rig, maybe one of these days, Robert, we could do it. Okay, so let's go here, right? We small change, right? We're just gonna bring out the arm a little bit to get a better silhouette, of this character. We also now need to swap. All good. So the guy actually made a lot of different hand things. He says, I'll try to rig it myself, Nice. Let's see. Anyone watch? I'm trying to think. Side note. There's a series. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But they have some really great animation. I'll post a link to their thing in the chat. They just came out with a new animation today. I think it dropped today. I don't know if you guys have heard of these guys, but they make really, really great stuff. So here, normally, I don't like to draw new hands. But since this is for your demo reel, I would do it. So we'll go in, create a new drawing swap right here. And now we're kind of just drawing our new hand. We'll go on the line tool, the color right. You can even press this light bulb to kind of, you know, gray everything out. Something playing. No. Whoops, that's a little too much. We'll go, yeah, we'll go 2, or maybe it was 3. And now you can do it with freehand, but I like to use these, the line tool, and just kind of shape it into my hand position. I'll draw the what in blue in like by freehand, and then I'll go in and clean it up with my line tool like this. Hey Jaden, how's it going? Yeah, right? Like and it's cool. All their shorts or whatever, there's no words, there's no dialogue, but they tell really fun stories. They've built like a really cool like fantasy universe just through like, you know, the without any words. It's so cool. And it's not like their stories like aren't like emotionally charged stories. They are, and they communicate those emotions pretty clearly, which I think is really really cool. All right, here. Right, just trying to get those smooth curves. You hold T and you can swipe to do the cutter tool. That's like super useful. Right, just getting these lines in. Anyone else working on some cool stuff? I noticed a few cool things in our Discord, which is awesome. A bunch of people are working on some cool personal projects. And last thing, guys, to make this a little more, like, depends on the style, I guess, of the show. If you use the pencil editor, I always love to just taper the ends of the hands a little bit. I think that really cleans it up and it adds a lot to those hand drawings. Right, you could play around with how much. Right, look at that. That's like a professional hand. On the color art, let's color in the skin. Just like that, we have the hand. So we'll actually try and, whoops, connect it right to this. I can't remember, did I put a deformer on these? No, I didn't. But what I can do is I'll create a new drawing swap. I'll duplicate it with this button. And we can just move this to where we want. So I guess we'll erase the color art. We'll go line art. And then we'll color it in again. Okay. There we go. We have a nice hand. Let's deform this guy. We're just following these drawovers now. And notice too, was a really good thing that Joanna did. The pose is pretty similar, right? There's not a lot of changes. So in fact, what we can actually do is we can grab the whole bottom half of our character, copy, and paste it. So now we don't have to redo the legs, right? So working in poses, it's a time saver because you can reuse different parts of the rig. And it also looks good. So let's try, oh, there's no deformer on that. So let's move this forward like that. Right, really get those shoulders. That's why I love to have at least deformers that act as shoulder pieces. It can really take your cutout animation to the next level just by adding shoulder movements. It's really great stuff. Like you can get cutout animation that doesn't look hand drawn, but you do at that point there needs to be certain things that the rig has in order to do it. Not every rig can look hand drawn, you know? It needs to have certain deformers. It needs to be set up a certain way, or else it's just impossible. Okay, let's move the shadow forward as well, just so we can get, a change in perspective. Go like this. Whoops. We'll hold Alt to break. We can kind of move this down. Okay, let's get the sleeve. I think, yeah, I put deformers on the sleeve. That's good. And then here, we can get a really nice shape. Like a nice straight. We'll curve the arm here. We'll curve the arm here. And then a nice straight as well. Right, so even like gesture drawing and stuff, it all comes to play when you're using rigs. Make this a little bigger. And now this hand, we might have to draw another hand. This is the most hands I think I've drawn in a long time. Yeah, and why we want it to look like it's actually touching the leg. So that's why we got to draw. Let's go here, same kind of deal. I'll try and do this a little quicker. What we can do is turn on this. See that up here? It like connects the lines together. So, whoops, if I draw a hand and I go like this with my line tool, see how it connects and kind of makes it one? That's like super useful when you're doing organic shapes with the line tool. It's a little annoying if you use it just with the pencil, because like lines attach themselves to weird things, but it usually works okay. Whoops. Like that, like that. I think we can actually close that. So same thing, we'll work a little bit quicker, but we'll still give these a nice tapered edge. Also, a lot of studios are hiring now, guys. So anyone applied to any different studios, or getting your demo reels ready? Okay. Here. Glove. There we go. Let's go like this. Just trying to, adjust these a little bit. That looks fine. That looks fine. Let's see how it looks when we turn off these notes. Oh. We got to make the hand that color. That looks better. Right, so there to there, just more, filled out. Okay, I liked her expression. That was good. Right, and then what you could do at the end, this is like a little cheat. Just go here and just kind of skew it a little bit to kind of move the whole body forward. Okay. So you notice too, like we deleted those keyframes and everything's kind of messed up. So we'll just go in, select everything, press delete, and then go here and press F5. And it fills in all those drawings, right? Let's try that again. So let me collapse everything. Keyframe this down. Let's make sure there's no tweens, so we press Control L at the beginning. And now let's grab everything and press F5. What the heck? Strange. So see this? It's that's kind of annoying. The transformation is changing up here. So we can just go back. This is 4 point. So we'll just change that. What the fuck is going on here? All right, let's try this. Let me just keyframe. There you go. That seemed to fix the problem, so we just keyframed. Okay, so now, so she starts talking, right? So maybe, like now we want to kind of, as we're getting into animation, we want to, look at the context. So she could be talking. She knows her friend's behind, so she's not looking at her friend. She said, "Is there anything else?" Then she turns. Learn storyboarding. You know who I think has a good one? Oh, what's his name? I think it's called. Whoops. Modern Day James or John? Yeah, this guy right here. He does a lot of great tutorials, and he does a lot of live streams as well. Check that one out. Okay. Okay, let's get rid of all these keyframes as well. So now we're starting fresh. We have 2 keys. So this is a pretty easy motion, right? When she says, "Is there anything else?" we can kind of maybe lean her back. So I'll put a keyframe there. And then she'll move forward. So to hit this accent, it doesn't have to be much. We'll just move the arm up a bit. And we'll kind of move the eyebrows up. Right? That's all you need for this. Now, to get this turn, watch what happens. 2, 4, 6, 8 frames. If we just tween this right away, the body tweens, but the head, see how it flips really weird? So we kind of got to fix that. Now, I don't know if this rig has a master controller. I'm going to say it does not. Let's see. No. So maybe it has head tilts though. So let's go in and see if they're at the end. So see these head tilts? She's got a few. So let's take this one. Let's go on the head layer, grab the front head, and then like somewhere in the middle, let's paste it. Okay? Because one of these is going to tween okay, right? So if we tween from here to here, this view tweens pretty nice. And then if we were to flip this head with 4, it tweens nice there. Right, so that gets rid of that flipping problem. But now we just got to make this look really nice. So I'm going to get rid of this for a second. Let's go back to this pose. What this is called, so this is kind of for, like, if Joanna's watching, kind of a breakdown pose. Between our two keys, we want to make this motion a little bit more interesting. Right, so we can have like we're thinking about arcs, right? That's what we really want. We want her to have a nice arcing movement. So let's dip her down a bit. Let's bring the head and the eyes down. Let's bring the eyebrows down. What are these? So those are the lids. We could even close the lids if we want. Shit, I didn't know that. Right, something very simple. Oh shit. There you go. Right, so the body has more of a, dipping down motion. Now, what are we going to do with these arms? So if we're doing this, if you're here, like you can keep this on your chin as you go. So let's kind of delay this arm a little bit. As we kind of bring this arm up. Now, this way, maybe we can have this arm straight and foreshorten the arm a little bit. So let's see. So we're going in like a nice arcing path. 1, 2, 3. Right? We're arcing this way. Oh, what did I just do? Right? We can lower this. Maybe a bit like that. And here, let's move this hand. Right, so nothing too crazy. We're just kind of defining that movement, right? Between those two keys. So now, before you do anything though, I want to make sure that every piece of my breakdown is connected properly. Right, my breakdowns need to look just as good as my keyframes before I start tweening, or else I'm gonna have trouble. So I want every piece to be connected. I want shoulders to be round. Like, see this elbow? I'm gonna move it like that. Nicholas, there he is. How's it going, man? How have you been? Right? We're just cleaning this up, really. The legs we don't have to worry about because those are copied and pasted. Let me just kind of delete this, press F5. So I don't know why that's happening. We're just keyframe that. Perfect. Okay, so now we have our breakdown, we have our keys. Now we can add our like in-betweens. But when you do this, so I'm kind of, speaking to Joanna again, you really want to focus on having a nice ease in and ease out. So looking at her animation before, it was pretty choppy and just everything was like popping into place. It looked really cut out because the spacing wasn't exactly correct. Or it could have been better. So just a regular tween, right? It looks pretty robotic. But what we can do, this is the easiest way I find. You can use the graph editor. And I think someone actually wanted me to explain this a little more. It actually can get pretty complicated with like how it actually works. I can make another video about that, but basically this graph editor controls the ease for like all these positions on these pegs, right? So the XY position, the angle, the scale, it kind of controls all of that in this graph. So here you can kind of slow it down and speed it up, right? You can use these handles, or you can speed it up because the graph is going pretty quickly. It's pretty steep, and you slow it down as you curve it. And that's basically the extent of what you really need to understand if you're going to use this as an animator. But I kind of don't like to use it all the time. What you can do is the easy way. If you leave these tweens at 0, you can just drag these frames. So I'll go in, I'll zoom in so you guys can see. You grab and you just drag. So now this frame is over here, which means it takes, like the spacing is tighter, basically. So I'm adding an ease by dragging. And you can drag it as much as you want. So I'll go 2 frames there. See how she takes a longer time to move? And then here, we can kind of ease in to our last pose. Okay, now let's go in and fix that head. So I can copy this frame, and I'll just flip it with 4. I'll press 4 to flip. Get rid of this, and it retweens perfectly to where I want. And now I can just add my ease. I can even add a keyframe, extend the timeline, so my ease is even stronger. And I'll kind of just get rid of this pose. I don't need it. Okay, let's turn off the sound for now. We don't need it. right? So it's going pretty fast, but it's moving. It's slowing down, speeding up, and slowing down again. Yeah, I know it actually has a, a thing. Like you can actually use it. I don't really use it too much though. So now I'm not going to focus on the head for a second, but let's focus on the arms. Actually, yeah, we'll do it this way. So now everything, I'm just going to grab it and convert it to twos. This way it gets rid of all the things in the middle, and I'm just left with my final action. But there's still a few things going wrong. So first things first, we need to move this arm in front here, and we need to change this drawing swap there, right? So a little before it changes from here to here, that's a good amount of space to kind of hide that change. Boom, right? So you won't even really notice. We also need to change this drawing swap. And this part kind of reminds me of animating in Flash, because this is how you would have to do it a lot of the times. I remember I was working on, what is it, corner gas, and this is how they would do it. It was like completely in Flash. And yeah, you had to change a bunch of drawing swaps really quickly. It kind of sucked. So here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this frame, copy it, paste it here, and just kind of move this back to just readjust that arm and kind of fix the position. Okay, I want it to be going forward. I'm just trying to fix kind of the arcing motion, really. Here, I can have the arm going down. Oops. Right, slowly coming down. Looking a little better. What I don't like is how every part of the body, actually, let's do this first, and then we'll come back to that. Right, this is moving a little too much. We'll just adjust it. That's looking okay. And boom. This probably needs to go in front. This needs to go behind. There we go. And then this I can move like that. Now, what I don't like is how everything stops at the same time. Actually, again, before I do that, let's fix the head. So we did the arms. Let's go in and do the head. So it's turning okay, down. What is this? This, I think, should be behind. There we go. So we're just going to move this piece back in Z depth. And now this is kind of what this part is. Just going in and cleaning up the pieces. Let's see. Let's take a look at these drawing swaps. Make sure they're the same. We probably want to change them right here, actually. Move that there. Move that there. I really hope I'm not just confusing Joanna even more after this. Oh, we need to get this drawing swap. Right, so it may look funny, the animation, but you have to really see when either it's tweening wrong or it's just you haven't changed the right drawing swap at the right time. Let's see what this is. And if it's really not working, I always like to grab my final frame, paste it here, and then I just kind of work backwards as well. That always seems to do me some good. Right, and then you can retween it. And this helps me really focus on to get those smooth parts, you know? Dodo Tune, how's it going, man? Wow, the chat is full. I guess Thursdays are a good day to stream. Thursdays at night. It's like 11 o'clock. It's been actually super crazy with work. Hopefully these next few days will calm down a bit. But yeah, it's been nuts. Okay, and what we can do here, you can kind of cheat this a little bit. We can kind of move this more in the middle to kind of soften out this turn, right? So if you follow this, right, look at that. That's way softer. Okay, let's play this. Right, already, we just changed the drawing swaps and like softened out a few little tiny pieces. You know, yeah, this Q Bum Lee who made this is pretty crazy. He went all out with this free rig. It's free, right? And it's so complex. Like, I guess it's cool too because the eyes, look, you can really get a nice 3D effect. For me, I feel it's a little complicated, but I guess once you use it more, it's really cool. There's probably more stuff you can do with it. This is just the first time I've ever seen it, really. So now let's try and fix this arm. So I wanted to move at a different time. So first thing, we can just start adding some frames. Press Control K, and then I'll go in the middle, and I'll just shift everything down. I'll cushion the beginning. And just like that, I've delayed this arm by 2 frames, right? And maybe here to here, I could probably use another in between. So I'll go in, and I'll add some more cushion, or I'll add a frame. See how that looks. Right? Already I'm liking it's loosening up a little bit. We need to kind of manually go in though and adjust. The arm, we might need to change the hand. Let's see. That's probably too much. And see how my hands are all messed up like this? Because they're 2 pieces. What you can do is you just press the hand, go to the hand peg, and just press R to reset it. I'll reset the master peg. I'll probably reset this as well. I'm just pressing R, and there we go. And now since these are just like stop motion keyframes, I can flip this hand. and it shouldn't really mess up anything. Right, I'm just like scrubbing back and forth. So maybe instead of bringing that in, I'll bring this arm out. We do have to fix this though. Now let's copy this shoulder. Move that there. Ah, that's why your hand looks weird, eh? Because this isn't supposed to be, like that's supposed to be under the chin. I just noticed that now. So watch. Yeah, exactly. It works a lot because I find the hands that are more than one piece, I'm constantly moving the overlay when I shouldn't, so it's just a surefire way to fix it. Yeah, see, this is what I wanted. Let's move this in. We want that. See that? That's why I was like, what the hell? It looks weird. That's what we want to overlap. Right, let me just. We just got to go back, readjust everything. So these are things that normally I should have caught in the posing stage, It would have saved a lot of time. But we should be okay. It's not too much. We're just moving the head forward in Z depth, moving the hair back, and then moving our overlay forward. Right, and stuff like this, it looks good on your demo reel as well, because the rig is really like interacting with itself. It looks like it's touching itself. It looks like it's holding a prop, So that kind of stuff is good to show the studio that you know how to do. Let's move this there. And this should be the last one. There. Let's get rid of between. There we go. So here I'm going to copy this hand. Just like this. We'll flip it. And kind of move it like that. Right now the hand's dragging a little bit. Whoa. There we go. And the last thing we can do, so see, we've already delayed the arm a lot. Now if we take the arm, we can kind of add a little overshoot and settle. There we go. 2, 4, 6, and settle. And now we'll grab this frame, drag it over, and ease into that frame. So we're dragging those frames. Okay, I like to keep this subtle. So let's see. Right, and see, we didn't have to redraw the fingers outstretching. We kind of gave that illusion with this drawing swap. Curl the whole hand, and then when there's a big change, we swap the drawing and you can barely see it. Like if you had time, you could probably go in and animate the hands frame by frame, but it takes a lot of time. Okay. Oh, actually, let's go here. We can copy this. So she comes up. And there we go. So that turn is pretty good. What we can do now, like we got a nice breakdown. Our hands are moving in nice arcs. That's one thing to also keep in mind, how each limb is moving in arcs. So you can really track them separately. You can go to the hand, track how it's moving. You can even like draw dots if you want to see. But now, last thing we can do, we can add some overshoot with the hair. This is kind of the fun part. So she's turning. We can kind of have the hair. We'll go 2, 4, 6 frames. We can kind of take this one out. We'll have the hair keep going. Right, certain parts of the hair. The back maybe as well. Right, and see that? And we'll just have it come back. So now we can just tween this. We'll ease in and ease into this pose. Right, it doesn't have to be anything too crazy because she's not like whipping her head to the other side. We just want it to be something subtle, right? Just to keep it alive. And I'm finding I used to struggle with this a lot, but I think now it's like my formula. I find where the action stops. So like here or wherever, you can sometimes go one frame ahead or on that frame, and then you continue the hair to move, and then it comes back like 6 frames later. Right? And as long as you redo this tween, or however many you want, it looks okay. And it's pretty quick to add some secondary action. Why does the hand pivot change when you choose your hand? It's probably because, let's see. I mean, it doesn't look like it changes. Are you saying, let's see. Because the way the hand's built, we have these hand drawings have the same pivot. And then our full hand has a pivot. And then our hand master has a different pivot point. So there's just so many layers to these hands, and each one probably has a different pivot point. I probably don't recommend that. I recommend to keep your hand pivots, no matter how many layers you have, keep it on the same wrist pivot point, unless you're doing something crazy and like giving fingers or something, you know? Okay, and now look, this kind of messes up. So what we can do, I'll select my deformer actually. I'll go to my deformer point in the timeline. Just kind of fix that. And now I'll just redo these tweens. So right where I can see it, I'll redo it and kind of really ease that in. So It hides it a little bit better. Whoops. Yeah, I'd say that's good enough. Now we can do the lip sync. Well, actually, sorry. First things first. What the? I don't know why there's still motion tweens on this. Let's keyframe those. Yeah, it's just how they chose to build it, really. Okay, so when she starts talking, I'll turn the sound back on. Just to make sure we're hitting that accent. So,
is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
right? So it seems like she's talking, right? At least I think so. And what we can do here, this is a pretty easy movement. You can just tween it, right? I don't know why that's flipping, but that's okay. But now what we can do to give it a little something, you know, even this small movement, we can add our, this is where I like to use the graph editor on easy movements like this. So what I usually do is I'll ease in or ease out by a factor of 30 and watch what happens to the graph, right? It slows and speeds up. I'll go next. And this is frame 7. So we're on this frame now. This is our previous frame. And there's the ease out. So now on my left ratio, I go like 75 or 70 or something. And then you'll see it eases in. So we have a nice curve like this. And this represents our motion. Hey, dude, how's it going? Just finish your ring early if you nice, bro. That's what I like to hear. If you want, share it with us on the Discord. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what you made. Right? Apply, close. Okay, it's looking okay, right? But why don't we go into the eyes? Maybe like somewhere in the middle. And I'll just drop the brows instead. So in the middle, right, it gives it like a little extra.
Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
It's hard to see. Here, let's zoom in.
Is there anything else going on?
So maybe it, the way I'm seeing it actually, it's happening a little fast. She's talking and turning pretty quickly. So what we can do even is give this more time. So I'll select everything. And on my keyboard, I'll press the plus icon. Just plus it like 4 frames. So now.
Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
Right? And what we could even do here, let's have her look. Have her look before she turns. Then we got to fix her eyes in this frame. Oops. We'll just fix the pupils. We should get away with this. Yeah, that's better.
Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
Right. It's looking okay.
Is there anything else going on?
I think the key thing here is with the movements, you want to get your keyframes, your breakdowns, and really get a nice ease on both of those. Whether you use the graph or whatever, getting some nice spacing is really, really key into making a nice animation. Shit. So another trick, I always animate on odd frames. So 1, 3, 5. On even frames, I don't know why, I just don't. Yeah, this one everyone's going to be able to. So normally on streams, we do members can watch replays, but for this one, yeah, everyone's going to be able to watch it. You can kind of keyframe around and just delete the frame in the middle. And that kind of like softens your animation and it keeps everything on odds. Maybe it's just like an OCD thing for me, but I always do it, always on odd frames. Okay, let's convert this to 2s. Done. There we go. I don't actually know what's going on with this, but we probably just got to go in and adjust things in Z depth. Right?
Is there anything else going on?
Let's move this stuff down. Where does she say? Let's just move it down. Because she can stay in this pose this whole time.
Going on that I should know about?
Right?
Is there anything else going on that I should know about?
So what you can do too, she turns. Anything else going on? I don't want to like redo another pose because when she says here, I should know about, I don't want to create a whole nother pose. In fact, I don't even want to move her, but I can move her face and keep her alive and acting even if her body isn't moving. And that like saves time too, like in a show setting. Ever tried using the retiming nodes? No. I didn't even know Toon Boom had those. I thought I know they have them in Spine, and let me tell you, I hated using them in Spine. But no, I didn't even know Toon Boom had it. So like, if we go in, like her eyebrows are up. I mean, I'm just not thinking about this too much. I'm just gonna just shoot her eyebrows down. You know, I should know about, like, she's like, huh? You know, I'm not really like thinking about the acting too much. I don't really like this, but let's go like this. So note that line, that the eyebrow should also have a line of action. And actually, I should make a video about that. Very important stuff. And then what you could do, like to, you know, give it a little more life, depending on the rig, you can squash the eyes. You can move the head a little bit. Just very subtle things. Right, maybe do it a little bit early. 2, 4, 6. And you can work right on the head peg for this. I'm just working on the whole body peg because I'm lazy. And now what we can do, movements like this, perfectly fine to go 70, 75, or 30, 75. Ease out by factor of 30, ease in factor of 75. And then we could add some overshoot. So I'll drag this frame from the middle, go 2, 4, 6 frames here. Right, and this part is kind of like a formula to me. Like I don't really care about what even the action is. And then I go 2 and I drag this frame here. Right, a little too much, so I'll drag here again, and I'll drag it out. And let's take a look at the eyebrows. Right, that's way more subtle. I like that.
I should know about?
And it keeps her alive.
Is there anything else going on that I should know about?
See? See that?
Is there anything else going on that I should know about?
Like that adds so much to the shot, and I didn't do anything. I just moved her eyebrows. I didn't have to do anything else. And it buys me a whole bunch of time. Like I don't have to do anything for like this amount of frames, right? We'll go here, keyframe this. And I'm going to do a video, guys, as well. It's hard to do it on a live, so I'll just pre-record it about lip sync. What happens when you hit it early? What happens when you hit it late? What happens when you hit it right on time? But for now, just kind of know that you want to hit it early. So before we do the lip sync, what we can do is we can give her a little last thing, like around here. We'll just kind of move the eyes a little bit. Right, like she's kind of surveying him, like I should know about, and she's kind of looking. Right, moving the pupils is a great way to keep your character alive. Okay, let's do the lip sync. I don't exactly know how this mouth is built. Let's check. I feel this is going to be a nightmare to do. We have a mouth. We have a mouth 1. I don't know what that means. Mouth 2. She has upper teeth, lower teeth, and a tongue. Okay. So let's just do the shapes. So I like to start with like a blank canvas. So I'll go here, delete my mouth shapes, press F5. Do the lip sync. Whoops, where did it go? F5, there we go. So the first shape that I'm hearing is. Her mouth opens wide on is. Is. And we need to get that S sound. So I hear it. Hear that? Around frame 7. So I'm going to open her mouth 2 frames earlier. Okay. And we probably need to adjust the position of this mouth. Where's the upper teeth? Just like that. So I'm gonna have to go in as well. We might have to use, so for a mouth with lots of different pieces, it's nice to work on the peg layers. So the mouth master, I'll work on that peg layer. So now if I copy the peg, it keyframes everything down. So I work on the pegs, closed pegs, but I can select the drawing substitutions. So we'll go but see here, guys, too, you hear the is on frame 7, but the S sound starts on frame 8, right? So I don't want to have my mouth close. I don't want it to open on frame 7 and close on frame 8. It's too quick. Okay? So what I'll do instead on frame 7, let's close the mouth. We'll go to the lower teeth. Right? And it's kind of a tedious process, this, but it's pretty important to know how to do. Is there any? So I'm looking for the open sound now. Is there any? So around frame 12, I hear the any sound. So what I can try is on frame right before. Let's copy and open that mouth. Is there any? We could either do the TH sound, is there any? Or we could kind of do like an R sound, is there any? Is there any? Because we're kind of phrasing that mouth shape, right? So here, in between those shapes, let's see if we have it. There, this is what I want. Something like this. We'll grab the bottom teeth. Just like that. And the reason I keyframe is because I can reuse these mouth shapes throughout the whole lip sync, right? You only need a few mouth shapes to make a bunch of different sounds, and then you can just reuse them. And she goes, any around frame 14 or 15. But either way, I need to hit it on frame 13. So we can try a closed teeth mouth. Anything else? So for something like this, we need that TH sound now. Is there anything else? That's a big sound. If you just say it to yourself. Is there anything else? Anything else? So this might not work, but we'll see how it goes. But here, I need to make a TH sound. So that's an F. We might have to do it like this. So for a mouth like this, we can kind of just do it like the teeth here. We'll move the tongue, kind of squash it like this. Sorry, there's like a bug. Bring the upper teeth down. Right, and that's how you create a TH sound. Even if you don't draw one. So we can even like move this up. We can move this up. So what we might do, guys, So see now, we have the TH sound here, right? But we're opening the mouth right on the sound of thing when the mouth is, when she says, watch, listen. Anything. So we're a little late. We're getting into that late territory. So what I might do, instead of closing this mouth here, I'm gonna move my TH mouth over. And I'll move this mouth over. So now we've moved everything back. Anything. So we've gotten rid of that N sound. Any, right? We don't say that. Anything. So she opens the mouth right to the TH sound. And then we can make this a little more prominent by closing this a little more. So the change is greater. We don't really want to move the top teeth though. That's fine. Let's get our big mouth. So the N sound, anything, happens at frame 18. Let's hit it there on frame 17. And again, this is just your first pass. So a lot of the times when you do lip sync, you'll do it and you'll think like, oh, nice, you know, this is working. And then you'll play it back and it won't be working. So, you know, just keep that in mind. It's kind of like we're trying our best and then we'll get it better as we play through. Else, we're gonna have to go big here on this mouth. Anything else? The S sound is here, so we really have no choice but to make this an S sound. Let's see if we can copy and paste, actually. Nice. That works. And see how that S? That really trails. Oh. Noel, how's it going, man? How are you? You're catching just the end of this stream. We've only been doing it for an hour and a half, actually, so not too bad. We're doing some lip sync now. Let's copy, paste this here. Get rid of this frame in the middle. So when you have like a long S sound, what you can do, especially with a mouth like this, I'll grab it. I'll squash this mouth in. Right? It's hard to see because she's moving, but when you tween it, it gives that mouth some extra movement. Oh, no worries, dude. You can watch this stream after. This is going to be available to everyone. So normally, it's members who get the live stream replays. But since this is someone's demo reel, so Joanna sent me this, just so she can watch it afterwards. I just hope it was, you know, it seems a little confusing, I think. I think I may have confused her a little bit. Right? So before you do too much as well, let's stop it here and let's just play through.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else? Is there anything else?
I mean, it looks okay, but it seems I guess There's really not
Is
much.
there anything else? Is there anything else?
It seems a little like too much
Is
movement,
there anything else? Is there anything else?
but I don't know how to fix that right now. Well, we can try this after, actually. But let's keep going for now. And another trick as well, what I like to do. So a lot of the times, when you have mouse shapes like this, you'll get these white keyframes. And they'll, it's kind of annoying because they'll add tweens when you don't want them to. So I'll just like, whatever I'm lip syncing, I'll just keyframe it first. I'll put it on 2s. And now everything's locked in place. So go. But let's hit it way early. So let's go here. Oh, they have this mouth too. We could try that after. Oh, my nose is so itchy. Right, go. It's looking good. Right, and another tip, I guess, never really move the top teeth. The top teeth don't really move ever. Going. We'll close that. Right, going on, and that just comes back down. I really like to pop, like when there's a big change in a mouth shape, I like to pop into the widest mouth and then slowly come down. Some people I see do it the other way. They like in between the mouth as it opens. I find popping right to the open mouth works pretty good, but I don't know. Oops. What's going on? Okay, let's play this now.
Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
Okay, and the best way to see your lip sync, this might freeze the stream a bit, but let's you just preview it. Because here it might like pause and not play back right. But on the preview, it pretty much is always going to play back how you want it to. Let's see.
Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
Right, it's okay.
Is there anything else going on?
The first part is too,
Is there anything else going on?
it's too fast. So let's try and fix that after.
Is there anything else going on?
But everything else is good. I like that. I like the movement. I like the pose, right? Looks like she's actually sitting on the chair.
Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
Right, I like the, you know, the, what is it called? How her arms move at different times. And did you know, too, you can play it backwards if you press this. I think it's funny.
Is there anything else going on?
Like I lost so much time at work because I'm just playing my scenes backwards. Okay. So before we go, let's try and fix this. Because when people speak fast, a lot of the times It either looks like it's like a motor mouth, like it's just talking so quick. And a lot of people try to put lip sync on ones to kind of keep up, and you really shouldn't have to do that. So let's see if we can fix this. So we could try this. We could open this mouth wider. Copy it here. Instead of our TH sound, we can get rid of the TH sound. So instead of bringing the TH sound here and then popping open again, let's just have him, is there anything? Anything. It's just one mouth movement. And then here, we can open this up as she starts to open that mouth. All right, so let's play that back. And it should, like, we don't want it to be talking like this. But now it might be moving too slow. So this is kind of the challenge with lip sync.
Is there anything else going on?
No, that looks good. See that? So it's.
Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
Right, so the mouth, it still keeps that phrasing. But remember how it was like, is there anything else? Now it's, is there anything else? It's just one, like that.
Is there anything else going on? Is there anything else going on?
Nice, guys. So I'm gonna say that's that.
Is there anything else going on?
Because I don't want to do too much.
Is there anything else going on?
But we also, it's a long weekend for me, so maybe we can do another stream tomorrow. But that's, Joanna, if you're watching, if you watch this, try and, do what I did with the posing. Like add some deformers, do some redraw if it's too complicated. And when you're doing your animation, 2 keyframes, a breakdown, and make sure you ease in and ease out of those poses. And you can do it by dragging those keyframes or using the graph editor. Good night, Robert. Thank you, man, for joining. Yeah, love to have you. It's always a treat when Robert shows up. So also, guys, next streams, I'm working on this fight scene that we're doing. So those are going to be the majority of the streams next. It's going to have to deal with animating that. Probably not backgrounds, just the animation portion. And the maybe the rigging, maybe a little bit of rigging, and maybe a little bit of compositing, but that is way, way down the line. What else? I think that's about it for updates for this channel. Yeah, nothing really special going on, but keep what am I gonna say? Keep up with the Discord. That's where most of the announcements are happening these days. And yeah, guys, thank you for joining. I'll see everybody. Actually, before we go, any questions? Anything else? Anything else anyone wants to talk about before we shut down? Anything about what I did here, or you have a better way of doing it? Let me know. Always love to learn from you guys. No, that's okay. All right, guys. Thanks again, and I'll see everybody in the next streams. Ciao.